Ready? Play.
Señoras y señores, fisioterapeutas y lo llamado el nombre. Mano invitado.
Senhoras e senhores, o vencedor, Thiago Monteiro. Aplausos também para Carlos Alcaraz. Desejamos melhoras e até a próxima.
Ready? Play.
In those important moments because I couldn't convert, some break points. But I'm happy that at the end I did, and yeah, it wasn't easy. So it's nice that I played, even a longer match here, so I could adjust, to the surface.
Ego, from our side, we can't tell how much effort Sloane is putting in just because it looks effortless, but it looked like a grueling match up there. I'm wondering, can you give us an idea of what made her tricky or what she's good at?
Well, I think, it looks like it because she's kind of using the opponent's power a little bit. So yeah, I think she played smart. I want, to be more precise maybe in my next matches. Yeah, because I felt like sometimes my shot was going 50 centimeters to left or right. That's why it was hard to make her, run a little bit more. But she played well, so I think that's why it was pretty tight, and I'm happy that I threw her anyway.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Welcome back to Talking Tennis, everyone. My name is Bianca, and it's time for another rankings breakdown. Let's get into it. Okay, for starters, we have to give a huge congratulations to Jannik Sinner. He is now our world number 3 with the title in Rotterdam. He moves up, replacing Medvedev in a spot. And honestly, he's number 3, but really he's been number 1. He is in a purple patch this year. He has been the best player far and wide out of everyone on the ATP Tour. He is undefeated, and he seems unstoppable right now. He has just found his form. He's clicked, he's locked in, and I honestly don't really know who can stop him at this point, except for maybe himself. Now on to the man that Jannik Sinner beat in the Rotterdam final. That would be Alex de Minaur. I've been speaking about him in previous videos about where he will end up this year, and here he is, number 9. And he's been playing like someone who should be inside the top 10, so absolutely deserved spot. If you can take away anything from the loss of the title, Alex, it's that you're now a top 10 player. We do need to work on that head-to-head with Sinner, though, because it's now 7-0. Got to make some headway on that one there, but yeah, congrats, you're in the top 10. With his entrance in the top 10, we know what that means. Tsitsipas is out of the top 10. This has been a pretty big story because this is the first time since 1973 when they began doing rankings that there has been no one-handed backhand player in the top 10. This is huge. This is a changing of the technique in the sport. If the top players are not using the one-handed backhand, does it work for this day and age of tennis? Like, we're not doing serve and volley, serve plus one as much anymore. It's really strong baseline rallies, and using only one hand, I don't think it's going to be a conducive method going forward in the sport. This really might be the end of an era. Let me know what you guys think about that one. If you think the one-handed backhand is done for good or could make a resurgence in the future. Okay, now on to the WTA. Huge congratulations to Iga. I feel like every week we're congratulating Iga because she keeps hitting new milestones, but we've got another one. In her 91st week at world number 1, she goes back to back to back. Yes, we have a three-peat in Doha. The last time that was done, of course, it was by the great Serena Williams. You know, when you have stats comparing you to Serena Williams, you're in good standings. But yeah, Iga goes back to back to back, defending her Doha title. Honestly, it looked like all week like that was what was going to happen. Yes, there was a little trouble in the final against Elena Rybakina, but she found her footing. She got there in the end. Now, one of my favorites, Yelena Ostapenko. She is back in the top 10 at number 9. 2 spots away from her career high ranking of number 7. She is so close, guys. I think we're going to get her in the top 5 before the end of this year, for sure. The lower half of the top 10 on the WTA is a little shaky. We have players kind of moving in and out. Our number 10, Karolina Mukova, she's just had surgery on her wrist. So things could be changing in the top 10 in the WTA soon to come. Okay, now some of the wider rankings, some career highs we have. We have Alexander Bublik. He's reached a career high of number 21. He's slowly rising up in the ranks real quietly, just head down, doing his thing. Much less antics, I feel like we've been seeing from him lately, and it's kind of paying off. Marcus Giron, he's number 44. Alexander Shevchenko, he's number 45. And now, definitely my story of the week, my mover of the week, Facundo Diaz Acosta. He was world number 87 before playing in Buenos Aires. And now he is a first-time ATP title winner, defeating Nicolas Jarry. And he's moved to number 59 in the rankings. This was completely unexpected. Nicolas Jarry ousted Carlos Alcaraz in the semifinals and just was not able to carry that momentum. Diaz Acosta beat him quite easily in that final, I'm going to be quite honest. But yeah, congrats to him, and let's see if he's able to keep this going. I know moving from the clay swing after the Australian Open back into the hard court swing might be a little difficult, but we'll see how he adjusts, if he's able to build on that. And very quickly, let's touch on the man himself, Carlos Alcaraz. I know people seem to be raising alarm bells in whatever's going on with him right now. He hasn't won a title since Wimbledon. We've had some great matches, obviously made the Cincy final, and then we've had some real not good matches. People are allowed to have bad days at the office, and I think this might just be what this is, whatever the opposite of a purple patch is. Carlos Alcaraz is a generational talent. I'm not going to write him off because he's having a bit of a tough time right now. To make it even tougher, he has rolled his ankle at the Argentina Open and has had to pull out of that tournament. I don't know. I think it's time just for a little bit of a regroup, maybe to change some of his tactics. He still is an absolutely amazing player. He just needs to steady the ship. I think that's what we need to do right now. But yeah, hopefully the ankle is not serious because he's got some things to defend coming up. Yeah, Indian Wells. So we're going to hope everything is okay there. Okay, and now the WTA wider rankings. We don't have much to update. I've got one for you. Erica Andreeva, sister of Mira Andreeva. She makes her top 100 debut at number 99. She said, I can't have my baby sister having all the fun. So she's throwing her hat in the ring. Welcome to the top 100. And let's see if we're able to catch up to Mira's ranking, because I don't know if I would stand for it if my baby sister had a higher ranking than me. So let's see what you can do, Erica. Okay, that's it for this week's update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Play. Ready. Play.
Hello guys, we can see each other now. Iga Swiatek, Anna Kalinskaya, Dubai semifinals, just like yesterday, 4 p.m. Well, today it was a little later because Paulini Kirstea. Well, I can't really say it got, it went for a long while or something, but that's basically how the scheduling was. But basically, Swiatek has been scheduled for the same day every single time, for the same time slot every single day since she started her Dubai campaign. And since the past, now 3 matches, we've been also sitting here and watching these performances. Is it going to be as clean today? We're going to see. Anna Kalinskaya, of course, the Australian Open quarterfinalist, is her rival. Very good to see Kalinskaya actually pushing on after that Melbourne run, her brilliant patch of form, which, by the way, was not just the Australian Open, obviously, which basically started around October last year. It's still on. It's still continuing. The fact that she lost in Doha round 1 to Karolina Pliskova, of course, was not anything crazy because, well, it's Karolina Pliskova, and as we know, she's in some amazing form herself right now. But yeah, here Kalinskaya already beats Jelena Ostapenko, first player not named Victoria Azarenka to pull this off this year. And also, she manages to take out yesterday Coco Gauff. So instead of an 11th meeting between Swiatek and Gauff, we get a first meeting between Swiatek and Kalinskaya, and we can sort of be happy about it, We can just enjoy something we haven't seen before instead of another rerun. However, that's of course just my preference, and I know that there are many people who would say that they wanted that Swiatek-Gauff matchup, and that's what really gets them going. Myself, I'm way more excited for this one, Swiatek-Kalinskaya. So far this week, of course, Swiatek has been pretty dominant, I would say. Yesterday I was talking about it, but that 2-hour match she played against Sloane Stephens, to me, really helped her get into the right groove. Also because of the play style that Sloane has, the way that she makes you play a ton of balls, and sort of that rhythm of the ground is likely going to be involved in your match. So 2 hours against her on the court, I feel like that's a pretty good warm-up in terms of that quick conditions change, that quick switch that she had to pull off here from Doha, which obviously is a lot slower, a lot bouncier, a court that naturally fits her game more than this one. However, this time she's also very dangerous here. She's going for the double. She's obviously the massive favorite for the double by this point. Jasmine Paolini awaiting in the final for either of these players. Paolini, it would be a bit of an all-Polish final since Paolini has Polish roots and also speaks the language, if not, extra fluently, or if not like a native speaker, then at least at a pretty good standard. And but of course, that's not going to be like a major narrative. Anyway, Swiatek remains the big favorite to take this title. Let's see if Anna Kalinskaya can put on some pressure on her. I guess the good thing for Kalinskaya is that, part of how she played yesterday against Gauff, attacking that forehand with flat pace and how early she can take the ball. That's also a thing against Iga, So at least partially her game plan from yesterday can be translated to this match. However, obviously the sort of offensive potential, the capabilities on attack between Swiatek and Gauff, they are very different. So you can imagine that Swiatek probably won't be just sitting there and just allowing Kalinskaya to attack her, right? And especially with how well she's been serving this week too. I know I'm praising the Iga Swiatek serve. Nurlan is probably gonna go at me if he is here, but she has been serving very well this week. And I'm not just talking performance on serve, but actually a ton of serves that set her up for easy points. Maybe she hasn't faced anyone who will crush the second serve return, But then again, I mean, Qinwen Zheng, for example, Elina Svitolina with her new aggressive mindset post-pregnancy. I mean, these are players who could capitalize on it. So it's not like she hasn't faced anyone who could potentially target the Swiatek serve. But any attempts at doing that by the opponents of the Pole so far have been unsuccessful. Let's see what happens here as she's 15-30 down. Kalinskaya winning a couple of baseline rallies. One of them was a net court from Swiatek, which she which basically, the ball clipped the net and then it stayed on her side, and now it's a sort of semi-long rally with Kalinskaya emerging on top. But the serving is, as I said, quite an asset for Swiatek this week, surprisingly, and she finds an ace out wide here. It's rarely been that much of an advantage for her, which probably the quicker court also plays into it. But for the most part, I think it's actually been the slice serves doing the most damage here. It's just a straight up flat one out wide. I don't know, this has been a major thing for her this week, but it definitely did come in handy here, given that she is now back to 30-0. Level terms, if you may. But she will need to start winning some points off the ground as well. And Kalinskaya really attacking her here. Forehand cross, yeah, that's a great combination from the Russian. Backhand cross and then forehand, and everything is just taken inside the baseline so early, so clean as well. Obviously, of both wings, Kalinskaya is definitely one of the cleanest ball strikers out there, despite not having maybe some major natural power or built-up power coming from her arms. That cleanliness, that timing is definitely allowing her to stay on top of the points against pretty much anyone, really. That's a great serve again from Swiatek, this time down the tee. So she has already hit 2 aces in her first service game. Iga Swiatek in her serve bot era, if you may. She forces Kalinskaya to slice here and misses a pretty routine forehand. So one more break point, of course, the first saved by an ace. Actually, you wouldn't probably hear me sign off, to be honest, because I left like 2 points before Zheng and Swiatek finished off the match. And it was John who sort of took over for me for the last 5 minutes, But today I am not limited. Today I am definitely sitting here until the end of the match, so it doesn't have to finish in an hour and a half, just like yesterday. Well, it's an Iga Swiatek match, so it still might. However, this is definitely a pretty nice start for Kalinskaya, even if she might still lose this game. Game point for Swiatek now. Really nice combination as well. +1 backhand and then to the net. Just making it seem very routine, which of course does not have to be a thing for Swiatek in the forecourt. However, this time everything is executed just right. And a huge forehand to cap of the game. She's made a few errors of this wing already in this encounter, despite it having only a couple of points, really. But she manages to get it right here, and she does take the first game. some early issues for sure. I mean, Kalinskaya getting 2 breakpoints, some of that with her own great hitting, some of that with the forehand errors from Swiatek, but eventually she found the ace on one of the breakpoints. She found another ace earlier at 15:30, and she definitely found that last forehand. So perhaps that wing has woken up, and we will see if Kalinskaya can hold now. Definitely not an asset in her game, by the way, for the most part, at least the serve, Kalinskaya. And I think that might be an issue against Swiatek as well, given that Iga breaks her opponents like 50% of the time usually. And yeah, generally speaking, she could use a bit more pop on that serve, Kalinskaya, for sure. Just would let her stay even more aggressive. But you can't have it all, obviously. Yeah, I generally, like, when we're talking about this match and sort of the overall outlook on it, I just kind of feel like Swiatek will be in too many return games here. Like that, there won't be easy quick holds for Kalinskaya, who's fully capable of like outplaying her off the ground actually on a court like this, and it's when it's super quick and when she takes time away. Well, maybe fully capable is a stretch, but she could do that. It's just that I don't know if she won't be under too much pressure in all of these return games, but we'll see. It's not that her serve is a big liability. It's just not too special, I guess. I don't know if it's special enough for this particular matchup. And so far, it's kind of getting targeted for sure. Heavy backhand return from Swiatek, pretty deep, and it's already enough to get an error out of Kalinskaya. Ooh, that was a spicy hit, though. She manages to find the line of this last forehand. So 30 all. Gonna be a second serve as well so far, especially on that deuce side. Swiatek has been able to target that and has been able to just go for it and take over the point from the first shot. It sort of happened here. However, Kalinskaya absorbed it pretty well, but eventually she loses the backhand trading. Swiatek just too heavy, too strong on that shot here. Definitely, that's one of the big sort of differences between them, right? The I would say the sort of pace and spin indexes of their shots, and how, if we're gonna have trades like that, Kalinskaya will be taking time away. She'll be like taking it much earlier, much more, much further inside the baseline, whereas Swiatek will be going for that heavier, spinnier shot. But there's no right or wrong here, right? You can be the best player in the world with either style. Kalinskaya definitely needs to start handling it better though than the previous rally. However, here she survives the initial first strike on the return from Swiatek, and then Iga shanks the forehand. So the previous game we've had 2 breakpoint saves from Iga. Now Kalinskaya has already saved one. But of course, there's still a lot more work to be done to get out of the game. That's a pretty good serve, though. Swiatek standing pretty, close to the baseline, maybe even inside, and Kalinskaya finds the line out wide, and there's no time for a sufficient reaction for Swiatek. And she tries to go after her backhand return here, but she misses it down the line. So 1 game all, and indeed both players have already saved breakpoints. What is it that we're watching in the background? I know it is. I mean, I know one thing. One thing is Rio de Janeiro behind John's window, but I don't really know who that is there. It's like Ben Shelton. No, I guess I have to enlarge my screen to, someone on the basketball court playing tennis. Okay. Anyway, let's see if Iga can take this one a bit more cleanly now, or will there be more issues? So far, Kalinskaya really pushing her in the first point, and eventually she manages to draw out the error, forcing Swiatek to go down the line, but it was a very low percentage shot. Which I guess separates it from the next point, which was just a very routine +1 forehand. That's the best, sort of the best that Iga has, right? When sometimes she just makes the most aggressive shots look extremely safe. Here's a net approach. It's not a bad volley, actually. Somewhat clumsy, but it's not horrible. But the point is still going. Swiatek smashing, but it was just, well, it wasn't too good. But then again, the smash even was pretty tough. She was close to the baseline. Kalinskaya recovers in the point and eventually wins it with this drop shot, which Swiatek tracks down, but it's not good enough. Like, she gets to it. She gets her racket on it, but she can't put it back into the court. And it was actually a very good choice from Kalinskaya as well. It was clear that Swiatek was expecting a bigger blow, was expecting to be on the back foot, sort of 2 meters behind the baseline, and not much time to react for the pole here. It's a good week for the company on running, right? Because yesterday we had another win for João Fonseca. He's going to be playing Mariano Navone in the Rio quarterfinals today. And of course, Iga is still in. Iga is still the big favorite. I mean, this did not look routine. Let me tell you, this back and down line did not look routine. She didn't make it look easy, but she manages to land it despite, sort of open court, and it probably shouldn't have been that close. But anyway, 40-30. I guess it wasn't that pleasant of a ball with, just hitting from below the net and having to lift it a little bit in order to just get it in. Whew, tries to pull the trigger on the backhand line here and is just far, well, maybe not that far off, but still, yeah, it's just a Hail Mary shot rather than a realistic attempt at at a backhand down the line, I would say. This is much better though. The serve opens up the angle for her. She takes it down the line with the forehand and does not even have to finish it off at the net, even though she went there right away after hitting that 4-point ending stroke. Advantage Swiatek to go 2-1 up. Kalinskaya getting into the point with that lifted forehand return, but this time the backhand down the line from Swiatek is pretty sublime. She has to crouch to it basically, but she manages to pull this off very well. And Kalinskaya, she's a decent mover, but like to a ball like this, yeah, there's no way. She's a decent mover, but she's not Usain Bolt, Although I don't know how Usain Bolt would be playing tennis, maybe Usain Bolt would actually not be that good in terms of like lateral movement, the stop-start stuff, the athleticism, flexibility. Who knows? Definitely he would be good at being fast. And well, Alex de Minaur or Dane Sweeney or Gael Monfils could rival him in some competitions. 2-1 up so far. Definitely Kalinskaya pushing Swiatek a little bit. Probably we're going to see over the next couple of games like whether it was actually maybe sort of true that Swiatek is just going to be in way too many return games in order for Kalinskaya to sort of keep competing. But for now, of course, she's there, and she actually had even more breakpoints than Iga, although she did have 2 games. But of course, it was all about that first one with 2 breakpoints in there. Some mention from Ban in the chat about Popyrin Kachanov. To be honest, if you're not too invested in that match, as that Doha bottom half is not interesting to me at all. I don't know if I've watched a single match from the Doha bottom half. I think that's actually true, yeah. I guess I caught a bit of Marozhan Kachanov and Marozhan Kopriva, but that's basically a Marozhan thing. But otherwise, I don't think I've watched anything from that Doha bottom half. Top half still has some excitement for me with Jakub Mensik, of course, who has broken the top 100 by now. But he still, of course, is in his first ATP Tour semi-final. We'll see how he handles himself against Gael Monfils today. Los Cabos will also be incredibly boring if Jordan Thompson doesn't pull off the upset today, because it's just going to be the top seeds and very sort of overplayed matchups. However, Dubai, certainly you can't say that it's not fresh, and Rio, of course, neither. Rio will stay fresh until the end, it seems, as well. Hopefully with a Navone or a Fonseca in the final. That would be probably the most exciting that it can get. Although Sabov Wild in a Rio final, ATP 500. I guess that wouldn't be too bad either. Anyway, that's a great point from Swiatek. She missed the first return in this game. However, this time she manages to easily take over with the forehand combination, crossed and down the line. Kalinskaya already pushed so far wide, and we're going to have a challenge, which I think is a Kalinskaya challenge, but I'm not even sure, honestly. And yeah, the ball is clearly on the line. The close-up on the line umpire maybe wasn't necessary, I would say. I mean, yeah, he made a mistake, a pretty big one, but I don't know if that was needed, but anyway. Now Kalinskaya manages to get Swiatek on the back foot pretty easily here. Goes to the net, but will get past. Not good enough on the approach, not good enough on the direction of it. And Swiatek will just find that backhand down the line pass without any real issue. So again, 30-all. Again, it might get tricky for Kalinskaya. But no, unreturned serve. So far, her serve is definitely looking quite a bit better than I maybe was expecting. Again, like similarly to Swiatek, I think possibly that's a quick conditions thing, right? I mean, it's kind of natural for your serve to be looking better on a court like this than in I don't know, wherever really, and just getting more out of it. And Swiatek has been able to use that as well to her advantage this week. So far, Anna Kalinskaya, Iga Swiatek, 2 games all, with another quick point for the Russian on serve. So definitely not a bad start for her, and she is in the match. She is going to be fighting for it. Have you been able to see any Cabos matches? Well, a few, but Los Cabos is generally speaking very tough for me. European time in the European time zones, Mexico is probably the worst you can get, really, because it's kind of like middle of the night. So whereas I am still able to watch most of Rio action, Los Cabos usually falls. Los Cabos simply doesn't usually fall into my potential watching. I've seen some. I mean, I've definitely watched most of the Kovacevic matches. What else was there? I'm forgetting now, but there was something. Oh, Vukic, Pacheco Mendes. I watched that too. Schwartzman against Nava. I watched that. So I've seen a few Los Cabos matches, but again, yeah, the Mexico is the worst for Europe, I think. It's just, another ace for Swiatek. Wow. Yeah, basically Mexico, I think, is worse than Australia if you're living in Europe. Because generally, like, Australia is considered horrible, but then if they're playing, later in the day, then you can watch it after you wake up. Asia sometimes can be very tough depending on really how they schedule it, because some of the challengers or the ATP events, like the ATP events, will be very late in the day. The challengers could be tough in Japan, but Mexico is just like middle of the night always. And of course, it wouldn't be like that if they weren't starting at 4 p.m., but they are starting at 4 p.m. for a reason. The weather. So but yeah, another ace from Swiatek here, definitely very helpful. And she's 40-15 now. Attacking again, and she manages to get the forced passing shot error from Kalinskaya. So 3-2 up now. And definitely a competitive start. It's kind of eased up on both players after the first game or so, the first 2 games, but so far no clear edge visible. Kalinskaya definitely going after her shots, and especially the forehand. So she is not playing this like someone who will just fold, right? She's not playing like someone who will let Iga roll over her, which I don't think we were really expecting. But it's always, I guess, a bit of a possibility when we have a big underdog and someone who definitely is like the better player, but does not necessarily have to show it in the match. And well, we're always afraid that the underdog won't deliver, and that's not been the case for Anna Kalinskaya so far. How many matches has Iga won in a row now? That would be Doha, which is 4 because Karolina Pliskova withdrew. And that's also going to be 3 here. So 7. The only loss she's taken since Beijing is the one against Linda Noskova at the Australian Open. So basically in Beijing, she won 6 matches in a row, WTA Finals 5, United Cup 5, Australian Open 2, and it's 18. And as John is saying, yes, it was 18, 1 loss, and then, 26 out of 27? Shouldn't it be 25 out of 26? Because you have 6 in Beijing, 5 at the WTA Finals. I think so, yeah. 6 Beijing, 5 WTA Finals, 5 United Cup, 2 Australian Open, 4 Doha, and 3 in Dubai. So it should be 25 out of 26 and 7 in a row. Of course, we could just check that as well, but it's funnier to just sort of start thinking about it and remember all of them, right? I hope. Yeah, I believe it is 25 out of 26. And definitely 7 in a row because of Karolina Pliskova's withdrawal. Because of that, she's not going to need 10 to win the double. She's only going to need 9. And this is a moment when she starts pushing in the Kalinskaya service game. She plays a great point here, forces Anna on the stretch, and manages to get a 30-love lead on return, which I don't think has happened before. In that first game, I think it was closer from start to finish, even though she got a break point. So we'll see if she's able to separate herself here. Kalinskaya gets the serve in, but misses the forehand. I mean, I appreciate her going for it for sure because, well, she really didn't shy away from this opportunity. However, it's a pretty rough miss as well. And especially since it now brings her down to 40-15. Yeah, 2024. I mean, that's not only 2024, right? That's also WTA Finals in Beijing. But in 2024, that would be 14-1 by now, I think. 5 at the United Cup, 2 at the Australian Open, 4 in Doha, and 3 in Dubai. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a big thing that, well, we are still looking at this as like a bit of a mediocre start to the year because of the Australian Open. And obviously the slams are the most important, but it's really been that these 3 matches in Melbourne that haven't worked out for her so far this year. I mean, otherwise she's been extremely dominant. And I mean, I know I'm talking about 3 matches in Melbourne. I know I'm talking about 2 wins as sort of not working out for her, but well, we know that the whole Melbourne campaign, maybe besides the one against Kenin, was a little rough for her. And well, she said that she wasn't really able to focus on the right things and sort of had to think about the basics and stuff like that. So definitely not helpful. But anyway, right now, Doha, Dubai, this is looking pretty good for her. However, Kalinskaya just saves 2 breakpoints. Second one with a return that Iga threw out. And now let's see if she can take the third one. She is scrambling on the defense now. And Kalinskaya, what a forehand cross. She definitely got an angle there. I mean, from just Swiatek barely getting to the previous ball. However, I mean, still to go after that with such authority, if you may, was pretty impressive. So the 3 consecutive breakpoints have been saved by Anna Kalinskaya. And now she has Swiatek running around again. However, some great defense from Iga. Once again, she should get there on the slide, right? I mean, sometimes when you give her pace to that backhand, there's really no harm done. It's just easier for her to get it back. And really, some of the scrambling in this point has been insane. And she's going to win it eventually with a Kalinskaya unforced error. Like, if honestly, probably there are a few better examples, but like, if you want to show someone what the Swiatek movement is about and how she has an athletic edge over the whole field, really, this was a great point to just put it into a few shots. It really didn't matter whenever Kalinskaya went bigger with that forehand line, because it was just easier for Swiatek to get it back. And it's not, it's not just rolling it in, right? It's just also getting it back with some really nice pace on it. Kalinskaya, though, another breakpoint save, so she has been very clean on this so far. Gets an easy ball off the serve, plus the backhand down the line very early again. But of course, by now we know that's her best. That's one of her best assets, that timing. But again, she's not out of the woods. Swiatek in the rally, trading forehands cross. It's Swiatek who goes down the line with the forehand. So at least in theory, she should be getting it done. But Kalinskaya is really redirecting well. And eventually she misses probably the easiest shot that she's had to hit in like 5 of them. Of course, that happens sometimes. And she will have to save another breakpoint. Goes backhand down the line again. Swiatek managing to find the defensive resource. She's back in control of the point. She's going forehand cross at the Kalinskaya backhand. And did she land that final backhand? I believe she did. I think it's on the line. It's a super sharp angle. Kalinskaya was basically in that corner, but she still manages to get it. I wonder if Kalinskaya will be challenging, but I think it would be, useless since, I think it was in. We're going to see a replay of that as well. And what a great point again. Just finding some spectacular defense early on with the shot into the forehand corner of Kalinskaya. Lots of loop, lots of time that she's gained back in the rally with it. And then, of course, once she gained control, once she was on the front foot again, just really no chance to Kalinskaya again. So what a break, what a game. And 4-2 up. As Kalinskaya will need to do something that Qin Wensheng couldn't manage yesterday, and that is break Iga Swiatek in order to win the set. Elina Svitolina did manage it a few times, but then couldn't follow it up with her holds in the second set. I don't think she did that in the first. Sloane Stephens did manage to break Iga Swiatek as well a few times. So it's not like she's been unbreakable this week, but she's definitely been performing better on serve than usual. Or at least, it has not been targeted. It has not been attacked. Are there any other 17-year-olds at a similar level to Fonseca? No. Sorry, but no. I mean, out of all the juniors that were there last year, I don't think anyone is a match. I mean, some people, if Vansh was here, he would probably say Lerner Teen because he's a California guy. But I think Teen, it's going to take him so much longer to get to the tour. And we don't even know if he's going to, how he's going to hold up there. I think pretty clearly Fonseca is the best. No, Teen is actually also 18 now, right? So yeah, it's not even an answer. By the way, to just maybe show you how unbelievable it is that Fonseca is already this good. There are 5 17-year-olds currently in the top 1,000 of the ATP rankings. And he is, well, basically live. He is already in the top 350. No one else is in the top 500. The other guys are also pretty interesting. Carboni, Serle, Sakamoto, Maya Malish. Maya Malish recently won a 15K in France, but it's definitely not the same caliber. Like, he just kind of has maybe a bit of a Clement Shidek type of game. Rei Sakamoto is an interesting player as well with the Samurai celebration. And obviously, Henry Serle won Wimbledon last year. But yeah, no comparison really to Fonseca, either of them. Although Henry Serle did make a challenger quarterfinal just a couple of weeks ago. And I started talking about Fonseca, and now we are love 40 on the Swiatek serve. So maybe that break that she's gained just a second ago will not matter all that much, and definitely doesn't, as she double faults. And I believe she also double faulted on the second point. So this is a real breakdown here. 4-2, playing great, and she suddenly froze this game just kind of out of nowhere, where nothing is working, where when the serving it can't even make it in. And the other point, I mean, the one for love 40 was a shanked forehand, 2 double faults as well. And I honestly have to rewind how the first point of the game looked, because I don't even remember. I don't think it was spectacular and, memorable. Yeah, okay. No. I remember now. I started watching it and then I remember it was actually a pretty nice rally from Kalinskaya, I'm not gonna lie. This time, just upping the pace on the backhand line, actually. Managed to get her something out of Swiatek, managed to force her to miss. But yeah. So yeah, 4-3, Swiatek went up 4-2, starting great, but then froze in this game with 2 double faults and a break to love for Anna Kalinskaya. So still in it, the Russian, after the last 4 points did not go according to plan for Swiatek. And it looks like Doha will have some very memorable tiebreaks again, as Popyrin and Kachanov are at 6-0. As I said, not really watching that. I'm catching some Bellucci Nakashima action at the same time in Po, where Mattia has really started so well. And well, let's see if he continues, but probably his best match of in a while, at least the first set, because now he's down a break in the second. Really sort of that varied defense, the hand skills, the drop shot lob combos are back. We'll see for how long. Kalinskaya still taking that that momentum swing from the previous game, and now winning the first 2 points of the next game. Now she throws out a pretty random wild backhand though. So the bleeding has been stopped. The 6 consecutive points that went Kalinskaya's way, that streak is no longer around. And it might be more issues coming, as it is 30-all. Swiatek sort of focusing back, getting into the right rhythm again, and finding this deep forehand return. Yeah, again, the rhythm on return has been very good from her, and it's enough to just for Kalinskaya to spray here. This one was not a forced error. This is just Kalinskaya not timing it too well. And another breakpoint for Swiatek now. So from that 4-2 spot, we had a horrible game for Swiatek, and now we have a bit of a poor patch from Kalinskaya as well. From 30-love up, she is a breakpoint down. Second serve as well. Iga tries to go for the backhand line return, but she misses it. However, credit to Kalinskaya because she didn't just roll it in. She definitely went for aggressive placement. You know, she didn't go for any aggressive spin or pace. Definitely not. But she played it safe, yet with some good precision, and that definitely threw off Swiatek a little bit here. She had to stretch for it more than she was initially planning to, than she was comfortable with even. And now, after a forehand return that goes into the stands, more or less, Kalinskaya has a game point, and she does get it as well. Big advantage here after the serve, and she just clinches it again with that forehand cross, taking it so early. Authority, whatever, initiative, lots of freedom. And 4-all after 43 minutes. So unlike Elina Svitolina in the second set against Swiatek, once she breaks back, she was actually also able to keep fighting, right? She was also sort of consolidate, you know. She didn't let that break go to waste, even though she did have to save a break point and also had a couple of weaker points there. Now things will be getting quite crucial for Gimzo. And does she land it? I don't know. I mean, she's going to challenge it, it seems, but I don't think this should be going in, like, just by the way she hit it. Like, you would expect it to go out, and it did, but it was so close. It almost swayed its way back in to the court. So love 15 Kalinskaya, and that momentum that Swiatek lost at 4-2, right? That could be really hurting her at the moment. Some scrambling here from Kalinskaya, but again, when she's on the back foot, when she has to do the defensive work, she is a little rough, let's say, and the forehand slices here fall, well, I wanted to say they fall short, but they actually fell long. So we can sort of paraphrase that saying and say that by falling short, by falling long, they fell short. Ooh, but that's such a wild forehand from Swiatek now. 15-all. She gets everything she wants out of her serve. She gets basically a ball that sits up for her. Kalinskaya has to guess the direction, has to go either way. And Swiatek chooses right. Swiatek chooses the corner to which Kalinskaya was not going. However, that corner, she does not find it and isn't really close to finding it either. 15-30 now. Kalinskaya stepping up to take the return. Swiatek somehow defending it. Somehow still in the point. But now Kalinskaya gets some of her favorite shots in. What a point here. I don't know who's going to win it yet. But it's going to be very important. And it is Swiatek. What a rally. I mean, Kalinskaya just blasting that forehand cross. And this time, instead of just, picking it up, Swiatek actually countered it like even harder than Kalinskaya hit it. And after that, she was fairly in control of the point. But then you have that shorter slice from Kalinskaya, and Swiatek has to approach, like it's not something that she chooses, she's forced to, but eventually cleans it up with a pretty good volley as well. That was a big moment, 15-30, and now she misses another sitter, 30-40, and it's the same situation, although this time on the backhand. I mean, Kalinskaya's return is very short. It sits up in the court, and Swiatek goes like literally in the exact spot that she should be going for, because Kalinskaya goes the other way. Basically would have been wrong-footed, but she misses a routine backhand, and that's the second mistake like this in this rally and in this game. Of course, if there's one mistake in a rally, it usually ends, unless it's not a point-ending mistake. And now Swiatek misses another forehand. I mean, this was a bit forced by the depth and the timing that Kalinskaya created on this, but from 4-2 up and sort of, again, just keeping up her form for the whole week, suddenly we have Kalinskaya 5-4 and serving. So this might be getting tricky for Swiatek. Partially, of course, you gotta credit Kalinskaya for this turnaround, absolutely. Then again, there's been a few somewhat, I would say, uncharacteristic misses for Swiatek as well, and probably you could argue that it's mostly her doing that has caused her to be in this scenario, because this game, the two routine forehand and backhand plus ones that she was going for the winner, perhaps didn't need to be this precise, but I don't think she was even trying to be precise on the second shot. And also, of course, that first break, which was 2 double faults and a couple of errors as well. So I would still say it's mostly her doing. Like, Kalinskaya has just sort of kept up her level from the first part of the match. Swiatek has not. And when Popyrin and Kachanov were at 6-all, I remember saying that maybe there's going to be another memorable tiebreak in Doha, and now they are at 12-all. So since they've went through, they've gone to 2 more changes of ends, and they are currently at 12-all in the tiebreak in Doha. I see that I think only one of the set points so far has been on serve, and that was for Kachanov just a second ago. They were basically winning all of their service points after 5-all, even after 5-4. Do you think Mikkelsen is a bit like Cilic? In which sense? I don't really know what the comparison would be. I think for Alex, the thing we've been using sort of the past couple of years is like a Jenson Brooksby with more power a little bit. I don't think, I mean, maybe, but I don't think he's as aggressive as Cilic. Definitely not. Yeah, he's like a bit of a Jenson Brooksby to me with more attacking arsenal. And I feel like that comparison really just kind of says it all about him, because he's definitely more of a baseliner, more of a grinder than someone like Cilic, and more of a baseliner than people often consider him. Because when I see some tweets that, we don't need another American serve bot or something like that, I mean, how is Mikkelsen even a serve bot? I mean, for a long part of 2023, his serve wasn't even that impressive. He's only really upped it somewhat recently. And of course, yesterday, yesterday or wherever, because of the time zones, it's hard to tell, but like in Los Cabos last round, very painful loss for him against Jordan Thompson. Huge point here at 15-all. Swiatek just finding the line on this backhand counter and then killing it with the forehand down the line. Has she regained control over her shots already? That's how it would appear, but, she needs that break, and so far she seems very hungry for it, but let's see if she's able to convert. Not right now, fairly well. What's definitely helping Kalinskaya so far is that she's also like really good at actually absorbing that pace and heavy shots coming at her. Like it's only when she's stretched, when she's on the run, she might have some issues defending properly. But when you play at her, I mean, it's hard to get her to miss. What a return from Swiatek here, but it's still not enough to get the point. And she misses the forehand line, so it's a set point for Anna Kalinskaya. Who is trying to beat her third consecutive third Grand Slam winner, trying to be the third Grand Slam champion in a row after Ostapenko and Gauff. Let's see if she can clinch the set against Iga. She gets her on the back foot and goes forehand line without any issues. 40-30 done. 6-4 first set done. From 4 to up, this was quite the turnaround, and it definitely was caused by some of the rough play from Iga in the service games. However, Kalinskaya, yes, she's just kept it up. You know, she's kept up the same level of ferocity in her hitting, if you may. She's kept up the same level of taking time away on the forehand, and it's been enough in the past 4 games. Paolini win is proof that a Masters 1000 in the WTA is a good place to vulture some points. I mean, Paolini has had a pretty fantastic season, you know, but yeah, earlier today, this is actually a funny story. I was looking, I was just sort of scrolling through Flash Score or whatever it was, and I saw Paolini and Kirstea, and just sort of without thinking about it, I was like, oh, wait, another WTA event is already starting, but it's Friday. And then I realized that it's a WTA 1000 semi. No disrespect to either player. I mean, obviously, Kirstea, I've always considered her a very underrated ball striker. Paolini, last year or so, definitely on top of her game. So it's not like it's a horrible semi or whatever. Definitely not. But it's a little far removed from what we are used to. That's for sure. But yeah, Kalinskaya or Świątek, they will be feeling good about their chances going into the final, I would say. I mean, with Rybakina running out of gas, like no one forced her to play Abu Dhabi, right? I mean, Abu Dhabi is a 500. Or I guess the WTA is kind of forcing players to play 500s now, but well, they are also welcome to get zeros in the rankings, I guess. But yeah, anyway, Rybakina played Abu Dhabi, unlike Świątek, right? So, you know, she wasn't going for her second final in a row. She was going for her third. And playing 3 weeks in a row, that's kind of on her, I think. I don't think Thor Heyerdahl is someone that I would be learning about in school. I know the name. I wouldn't be able to tell you any achievement of his. Like I know more or less from which part of Europe he is, and that's that's kind of it. Like, you know, he was some sort of a whatever. Really, I can't even tell you. Yeah, John, I saw. I mean, you texted me. Didn't I text you back? I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know. Oh, Nurlan is there. I would have thought Iga was in better shape than Kalinskaya, but Kalinskaya coming back to beat Coco after losing the first set is pretty impressive. I mean, Kalinskaya against Goff on a court like this, it's a really good matchup to me. Goff is still, well, I have my issues, let's say, with her being considered part of the Sabalenka, Rybakina, Świątek gang, let's say that. I don't think she's quite as unbeatable and quite as tough to upset. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Kalinskaya, Świątek, let's see. 4-2 up, Świątek in the opening set. She plays a couple of horrible service games. Kalinskaya sticks around. Kalinskaya just keeps blasting her shots, keeps taking it early, and she gets her reward for just being brave and for being brave and for maintaining that level of aggression that she brought to the beginning of the match as well. 7th of March already. Okay. In terms of fitness, it's impressive to beat Coco in 3. You're not going to outrun her. I mean, when it comes to outrunning her, no. But like Kalinskaya, she's not going to run much, right? She plays inside the baseline. She hits the first shot every single time inside the baseline if she can. So I don't know if it's a match that takes that much physically out of you. Świątek is going for back-to-back titles as well. However, I don't think we've really seen evidence to suggest that she is tired or down on her energy. I don't think so. Yeah, I think John, you should. Sorry, John, sorry, Ghosty, you should probably guess by now. I think you've had enough clues and hints, so. Another error from Świątek, and she falls low 30 down. This time it's the, again, the Kalinskaya hitting, just really taking that time away from Świątek and not allowing her to stay in the right timing, stay in the right groove. Wiktorowski looking kind of scared by now, and, well, rightfully so. This is a tense point from Świątek, but she manages to take it. What would get us taken down quicker, showing a match live or having Nurlan on the show? Depends on the match, I guess, but I think they work pretty quickly. I think for Nurlan it would probably take 15 minutes. For a match show live, it could be even faster than that, depending on how bullish the event is with their policies, right? Nurlan, I mean, how long would it take Nurlan to say something that YouTube wouldn't like? First minute or so. And that's another error from Świątek, as her game has been just filled with them the last few games. Part of that, of course, is caused by the Kalinskaya timing advantage, but then again, did she have to miss this one? I mean, in the 4-2 break, we saw her just defending incredibly well and scrambling to get all of these shots back. But right now, she's really unable to do that. Right now, she's getting rushed all the time. Interesting backhand cross from her. Kalinskaya gets it back and she misses. So again, it just keeps going. 5 games already, 3 breaks as well. 3 service games lost by Świątek. So Kalinskaya is up a set and a break. How much is that worth? We're gonna find out. You can see that Poland is not as dark because in the mirror there, you can see a reflection, from outside my window. So you can see sort of the proper coloring. But in my flat, it's definitely this dark. Yes. Ghosty, what are you doing? Mallorca is on grass, and you finally got it. Wow. I don't know when my sunset is, honestly, but I guess it's already happened. That's my guess, basically. I'm gonna check because why not? And I'm also gonna turn on the light. Yeah, apparently sunset for me was 19 minutes ago, so why wouldn't it be dark? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna do it on the next changeover then. I'm gonna turn on the light so you can see me clearly. Świątek definitely in a bit of a rut right now, and she's just kind of confused, looking to her team to try to um, locate any piece of advice that could help her. But honestly, I don't know if there's much that they can give her. This was a match where she was feeling very comfortable in the first couple of games and up until 4-2. Now she finds her best point in a while, her best point since 4-2 probably, with the forehand finish here. Yeah, I mean, on the replay, it's kind of laughable how much spin is on this, and yet again, how hard it is hit. But I don't know if this is going to wake her up or not. The forehand missed return here is again rough, and she throws her racket on the floor. We've not only seen and she's also going to change it, actually. She was thinking about it, but she has to change it after probably abusing it a little bit too much. We're not only witnessing a game breakdown from Iga Świątek here, but also a mental breakdown. She's not comfortable with what she's been playing the last couple of games. Have I ever been to the moon? No, I have not. As far as I believe, there's only been 20 people that went to the moon or something like that. So no one remembers the third even, but the first two are kind of famous as well. I actually don't know how many people went to the moon. I'm gonna check that because that's pretty interesting. But 12 people apparently. So shout out to the legend Buzz Aldrin, who is apparently still alive, 94. And shout out to David Scott, who's 91 and alive, Charles Duke, who's 88 and alive, and Harrison Schmidt, who's 88 and alive. 1972 was the last time a human was on the moon. Moon is a swingers club in Gdańsk, probably. No, I was not at that club. I don't know if it exists, but it could. I wouldn't know. I drink at home. Where were these hints, Ghosty? I mean, there was a hint when John said that it was clay and that was his first favorite event. You should remember him loving a story last year. I mean, Swiatek might have lost 6 games in a row, but what an angle she finds now with the backhand cross. That's kind of insane. I mean, I don't know if she's really, if we should compliment her for shots like that right now, but because it seems like she's just playing with so much frustration that sometimes she's going for it way too much as well. So sometimes they don't actually reflect that she's in a correct mindset, if you may. But anyway, of course, it's absolutely necessary for her to stop this streak of games that's been happening. The free breaks, the free holds for Kalinskaya as well. Yeah, Iga did throw her racket, indeed. Buzz Aldrin said in an interview that they faked it. I mean, it is one of my favorites. Honestly, it is one of my favorite theories that the moon landing was fake. I think it's been refuted pretty comprehensively. Like the I don't think it's true, but I like the idea, because it's something that could have happened. Like it's something that very much legit could have happened in the Cold War with the propaganda, like trying to show the world and the Russians that we did it. We were first on the moon. Doing it in a studio. I think it's something that feasibly could have happened. I don't think it did happen. However, it's a good theory because of that. Because there are actually some serious reasons for someone to organize a fake out like this. And there's also this movie Capricorn One, right, which is like a fabulous. Well, it's not a documentary. It's just the plot is basically the United States faking a landing on, I don't know, I don't even remember if it was the moon or if it was like another planet. I think it was the moon. Telly Savalas played there. It was pretty interesting. I have to rewatch it at some point. Anyway, Swiatek stops the bleeding. She gets a game after 6 in a row, but still, it's Kalinskaya up a set and a break, and we'll see how much Iga can control her nerves here. I mean, Kalinskaya so far has just been playing the same from start to finish, really. So you kind of should like her ability to keep going and just sort of keep putting the pressure on Iga and seeing what sticks. I'm going to turn on that light now. And here we are. I don't know who said "Let there be light" first. I guess it's probably from the Bible, right? I'm guessing. But yeah, I would assume that it is from the Bible at least. I was about to make this stupid joke that it's Manfred Mann quote, but that's blinded by the light, right? Not "Let there be light." Is this the coming out party for Kalinskaya, says Nurlan? I mean, with the skill set, she should have been inside top 20 long time ago. I mean, that coming out party has been happening since October, right? I mean, she's been in that patch for a long while now, and it's great that she didn't stop with the Australian Open. That wasn't the last time we saw it. And regardless of win or lose here, that's not something that is gonna sort of happen today. That's something that we've already seen. And of course, for years she was a bit of an underrated ball striker, somewhat due to her injuries, probably, which were kept keeping her away from the court often. But it was pretty clear, I think, that there is a lot of untapped potential in her, and now she's really tapping into it, if you may. Yeah, Ghosty, and that's why first on the moon was so important, right? That's why there would be like any real. Sorry, I lost myself because I was watching the point. But that's why there would be like actual reason for someone to fake a landing on the moon, because indeed the Russians were winning the space race. The Yuri Gagarin getting on the, of course, the first man, the first dog in Waika, the first woman the Americans never put a woman on the moon. I guess it's very chauvinistic of them. Whatever. Very sexist of them to not to put a woman on the moon, whereas the Russians did with Valentina Tereshkova. So anyway, Elena, did you start watching like just a second ago or something, or like the last few games or something? Because up until 4-2, she was actually excellent, and she broke in that 4-2, well, 3-2 game. She broke with some amazing defense. You know, she was scrambling around. She was getting all the balls back with interest. Whenever Kalinskaya sort of went for it even more, it was actually just helping Swiatek to get it back. And then from 4-2, it's been, just a big mess from her. Lots of frustration, the double faults, and the mistimed forehands. While Kalinskaya has just sort of been playing as well as at the beginning, I think. And right now she's even probably hitting with more confidence because, of course, because of what's been happening and because she sort of found herself in this position. And but yeah, I think Kalinskaya from start to finish, she just never really dropped her level. But when Swiatek did, she's been able to just run away with it completely. Now 6-4-3-1. Swiatek gets an ace out wide. Let's see how much fight she still has in her. What is a woman? Yeah, I read an article. I read an article just a couple of days ago or something. It was like, how many calories should you consume or whatever. It was something about calorie intake. And it basically had, instead of male, female, it had like some AM something like 4 letters for like assumed male at birth, assumed female at birth, or something like that. Assigned male at birth or assigned female at birth. And it was just pretty interesting to see. I've never seen that before. And it was like, okay. That's how sort of we've developed. So I guess that's what you're referring to as well. Anyway, not a topic for another day, which I also don't really have any strong opinions about. So probably a topic for neither day for me. One more ace from Swiatek. So she is getting this game done pretty quickly for love. Anyway, 6-4-3-2. Some good discussion is brewing here, and I do have some opinions about what Sean just said. We are overeducated fools, which I don't know if we understand it the same, but I definitely have some thoughts that I could compare this to, especially when it comes to like trying to find because we are sort of in a, let's say, at least most countries are in the more developed, the countries which aren't at war. We kind of have too much time on our hands and we start thinking about stuff that doesn't really need any intervention or but anyway. 6-4-3-2. And obviously I definitely second what Ghosty said as well about regretting every minute I spent at the university. I still haven't even received my diploma because I'm not going to go there in order to get it. Like, if you want me to receive it, I mean, you can just send it to me via mail. I don't care. I'm not going to need it. At least I hope I'm not going to need it. Maybe in the future, maybe I'm going to need it. Who knows? But for now, it's just useless completely. Both the degree and the knowledge that I managed to get there. Anyway, 6-4-3-2. So far, Kalinskaya, since she broke in the second game of the first game of the second set, she has been holding pretty confidently. The last game, I remember 2 smashes and just getting a lot of job done actually now with the serve. Just some really short attacking points. Of course, she's gonna take the first shot inside the baseline. She's gonna take it clean. She's gonna go for it. And so far, this has been working out for her very, very well. Let's see if that continues. Swiatek with a wild forehand return. I mean, that's not the right way to play this matchup, I suppose. Well, I don't need to suppose. It's definitely not. Net court from Swiatek. Kalinskaya should track it down, but she does give Iga some chance here. Oh my goodness. I mean, did she make it? Because this is insane that she was even close to throwing this shot out. I mean, there's nothing that's easy for Swiatek right now. She's just so out of it mentally. But she manages to get the point. But like, this should have been an easy cleanup, and she basically barely finds the line with it. $30-15 now. Again, I mean, there's nothing that Swiatek can do in this point. I mean, Kalinskaya with a decent serve and just takes the first shot early and for a winner. No reaction, and how can you react to this? So who knows? I mean, if Kalinskaya keeps playing like this, maybe Swiatek has already done enough damage to herself here. And that's 4-2. Another missed forehand return by Iga. 6-4, 4-2. Kalinskaya in a great position to clinch this match and also be the favorite in the final, which, well, for her, I hope that she's not going to be thinking about this, because this can lead to, of course, some nerves and tension getting into, tension brewing inside her. However, yeah, I mean, she would absolutely be the favorite for the title tomorrow. So looking at you, Anna Kalinskaya, and telling you this is a big chance. Hopefully no one whispers it to you on the actual court, but again, there's nothing easy right now for Swiatek. The +1 forehand here, just straight up middle of the net, even though it should have been, if not an outright winner, then, a shot that leaves her very much in control of the point. But even the routine cleanups here right now are not routine at all for her. And that's been happening really, for a large part of this match already, right? 4-2 up in the first. That was kind of when it started. And again, decent return from Kalinskaya, and it's enough to just throw off Iga's timing completely. And part of me, I mean, you could say that this is simply how this matchup can work on a quick court. And sure, as I said earlier, like that's how Kalinskaya beats Goff. But it wasn't like it in the first set, right? Like the first 6 games, Iga was actually handling it well. She was defending against all of these rushes from Kalinskaya, let's say. But now, I mean, she's just completely lost. She's completely out of it. Kalinskaya have a big return, and it's gonna be 2 breakpoints for a 6-4-5 to lead. I mean, 6-4-5-4. If Kalinskaya is serving out the match, maybe there's something still there. 6-4-5-2. You gotta like her chances to clinch this. But let's see if she can take either of the 2 breakpoints. Not the first one. Again, the serve comes to rescue Iga. I mean, the first serve at least has been, a part of her game that hasn't, like probably the only part of her game that hasn't fallen off since 4-2, I would say. Second serve, of course, had its issues. And one of the, well, perhaps the most important point of the match, given, right now. And Swiatek commits another +1 error, which is just, straight up middle of the net. No real chance for this shot to go over. It wasn't close. Plenty to discuss at the Iga and Carlos podcast. Yeah, I'm going to have to text Vansh and ask when we're recording, but obviously today or tomorrow will be the best time now since, well, for Carlos Alcaraz, we're not going to have to discuss anything. For Carlos Alcaraz, we're not gonna have to discuss anything, but basically we'll just talk about the retirement and whether he's back. But I mean, Nurlan, I don't know if it's gonna be the main topic because essentially Kalinskaya is well, for the past 3 matches she was looking. Yeah, +1. The +1 shot is the first shot after your serve, so technically your second shot in the rally. Yes. When it comes to that fast court thing, I mean, the past 3 matches, her timing was pretty elite, and 4-2 here as well. No, Elena, we already had a post Buenos Aires one, post Buenos Aires Doha episode. So now it's gonna be Dubai and Rio. But yeah, basically on clay, I mean, Swiatek definitely feels more comfortable and like just wouldn't be this frustrated and wouldn't be this rushed, right? So we don't know if she would have won that match or something. Or basically every match is also played different, of course, in a different scenario, in a different setting. It's not really comparable. We're not going to bring in a clay court for the semifinals here. But definitely from 4-2 up, Swiatek's game fell apart. And you have to admit it as well. Like she wasn't playing like this from the get-go. Now, was it the constant pressure of Kalinskaya's timing? Maybe that's a part of it. But was it that constant pressure that made her hit 2 double faults in the 4-2 game? No. Now she's sort of out of it, and Kalinskaya just keeps going as she knows best. Sort of just super clean on both wings, takes everything early, and gets the job done. 30 love, and again, no real fight from Swiatek here because she's just been so out of sorts and just not looking comfortable against Kalinskaya at all since 4-2 up. Well, that's a better point from Swiatek. Is it too late? We'll see. Manages to recover with a deep counter at the Kalinskaya forehand and then cleans it up. A little more loose, but she's 2 points away from the match. Obviously, she's going to be swinging a little bit freely now that she feels that she's basically out of this. Kalinskaya serve +1 forehand winner, not giving her any real shot to get back into this. And she's actually been getting quite a lot out of that first serve in the second set. We're playing on the first match point. Swiatek going forehand down the line. Kalinskaya just saving herself with a slice. And Swiatek backhand down the line. Still, I mean, Kalinskaya is an interesting defender. Like, she is really quite scrappy. And that, well, she might not be getting these balls back with interest. She might be looking a little clumsy chasing them down. But they are falling back into the court. And for someone who's like really struggling to put away shots like Swiatek right now, that could have led to an error. And honestly, even that smash that Iga had on top of the net here, I mean, it was too close for comfort, I think. But anyway, she saves the first match point. It's going to be the second now. And again, I mean, we see it all the time, right? You go down 2 match points and suddenly you swing freely. Suddenly you're like, yeah, devil may care. And devil may care in a good way, because for a large part of this match, Swiatek was like devil may care in the worst possible way. Last year against Krejcikova was the same. She had no answers. But wait, Nurlan, you said that the court doesn't matter. And Krejcikova was in Dubai as well. So, you know, there's some flaws in that reasoning, I would say. There are some flaws in that reasoning. Anyway, it's going to be a breakpoint now for Swiatek, as she has saved 2 match points. Started hitting a bit more loose, and suddenly, again, it wouldn't be an unusual pattern for sure. The question would become how, if she breaks here, how will the next 2 games look? And even the hold after a situation like this does not have to be easy. I mean, obviously Kalinskaya has been pretty dominant here since 2-4 down, so, but she might not get even to that situation, since Swiatek misses a forehand cross now. 2 points away again, Anna Kalinskaya. Now Swiatek forces out an error from Kalinskaya's racket, though, so 1 more breakpoint. Definitely to Kalinskaya's credit, it's not like she's looking like a little, wobbly near the finish line yet. And she might need that if she gets broken. And she should get broken here after this Iga return. Yes, indeed. 6-4, 5-3. Let's see. I mean, this is kind of the test for both players, right? Like, let's see what you're made of. The way to create opportunities for yourself against Iga is to bash, bash, bash. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Swiatek or the Alcaraz ground strokes, similarly, we were talking about the show, but like there are a lot of similarities in how if you give them time, it's gonna be very hard for them for you to beat them. Like you kind of just have to take the racket out of their hands. Again, up until 4-2, Swiatek was defending very well. Then she like falls apart completely. But, as I said, Kalinskaya from start to finish, she's really never like let go. So let's see if that's still is the case. Let's see if that actually happens when the pressure is on. 6,000 might happen during a final, says Sean. I guess that's to the subscribers. Oh, we gained one. Thank you to anyone who to the person who did that. Yeah, it could easily happen during the weekend. Hopefully we get there. It would be nice to get there in the first 2 months of 2024, since we didn't have such a sort of clear date on when we got 5K in the first place, which was New Year's Eve. So okay, pretty confident here on the forehand now, Iga. 30-15. As I said, that game does not have to be easy, even though she just broke back. After all, she has been in trouble the past hour or so. But if she can clinch it, we'll see if Kalinskaya has any issues herself closing it out. Again, that's very I would say, yeah, again, scrappy defense from Kalinskaya, just putting the ball back with the slice. There's not much on it, but it can lead to some errors. Like, it can extract errors out of someone, and especially out of Swiatek here, it seems. 9 in the last 15 points, Swiatek has won 9. Why are they showing this to us? Is it like such a big turnaround? Well, maybe. Probably the bigger story is how many she's won since the being too much points down, right? Like that would be a better stat, I think. Anyway, 40-15. Very close to just allowing Kalinskaya to try to serve it out for the second time. And it's going to be 6-4, 5-4. And as much as the first service hold was, of course, let's say, expendable, she could have lost that game, Kalinskaya, and just didn't really care. This time, this is when we have a true test for her. And let's see if Swiatek will make it a true test for her, or will it be more missed forehand returns? Will it be more great serving from Kalinskaya as well, who's been setting up that first forehand very, very well most of the match? Kachanov won that match, which I guess is not a surprise given he won the first tiebreak 14-12, right? That's bound to give him a lot of momentum for the second. And now is probably when Anna Kalinskaya starts thinking about all the scenarios and how this is a semi-final, how this would be a wonderful opportunity for her to claim that WTA 1000 title tomorrow against Jasmine Paolini. Let's see if these thoughts will be very much in her head, or will they just be pushed back for the duration of the next 4, 5, 6, 7 points. To be honest with you, like, she does not look nervous at all. Maybe it's just just her face. I mean, I don't know. She does not look nervous whatsoever. We'll see. But she was kind of even like yawning a second ago. She's bored, She just wants to be she just wants to be in the hotel already. She just wants to be in the final already. So let's clinch it. That's her mindset, it seems. I don't know. First point, we are trading, and yeah, Swiatek just throws out the backhand somewhat out of nowhere. I mean, again, it's kind of flat pace coming at her, but I don't think this was necessarily a forced return. A forced unforced error. Okay, Swiatek steps in to take that backhand return down the line. 15-all. 3 points away from the match, Kalinskaya still, but most importantly, of course, this is just a battle of nerves now, and one player has to lose it. One player has to win it. We've had an attempt at another good comeback from Kirstea earlier in the semi-final. Let's see if that happens from Swiatek. Of course, Kirstea pulled off a pretty insane one in the quarterfinals. Now Swiatek keeping the ball in play a lot more. The shot tolerance has improved, at least for a while, at least for the last couple of points. And it's Kalinskaya who cracks first. Again, tries to go for the backhand return line, and it's worked out once in this game, so definitely can understand the effort. However, she misses it this time, so Kalinskaya finds herself 2 points away from the match. Again, because of course she was 40-15 up in the 5-2 game. She had 2 match points already. And it's gonna be a breakpoint for Swiatek, as this is getting quite spotty from Kalinskaya now. I just saw a face of someone who was very worried in the crowd. Probably, well, actually could be a fan of either player, because I guess fans of either player will be sort of on the edge of their seats right now and biting their fingernails. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is just insane. Swiatek gets it gets what she wants, basically. The big return, one backhand, and then the cleanup forehand cross court into the open court, basically. And she misses it again. And, well, she might have just put the final nail in her own coffin with this. Ooh. It's probably one of the strongest returns all match, really, from Swiatek, and she will generate another breakpoint. Backhand cross, not much of a reaction from Kalinskaya, because, yeah, there's no way of getting it. But that does not translate to the next point, as this time the serve from Kalinskaya throws Swiatek a bit out of position. So back to deuce. Again, 2 points away from the break, 2 points away from the match. Who will manage to step up when needed? Not Swiatek, as the forehand again breaks down when she tries to hit it a bit, just rush it a bit too much, just tries to pull the trigger right away, and she wasn't able to do that. Kalinskaya with her shot now, and she finds the drive volley into the open court. She gets the job done, and it's a maiden WTA 1000 final for Kalinskaya. I don't think she even has a WTA final, does she? I think it is her first one. Obviously, not talking about the WTA 125 level. I might be missing one. I'm pretty sure she does not have a title, but she might not even have a final, honestly. And I have to check that now. But yeah, what a run for her. It's been since October, and of course, it's not really something like yeah, she doesn't have a WTA Tour final. Like basically, it's not a run that we should be talking about in the category of like, you know, it's random. It's amazing that she's in that form because she doesn't have the game to do that. She does, but it's definitely great to see that this has been maintained by her post Australian Open. As for Swiatek, you know, she didn't get the double, but she goes to Indian Wells now, right? Which is has to be like of, you know, pretty, has to feel pretty okay for her anyway, because she won the more, well, let's say the event that suits her more, Doha. She gets a pretty rough loss here, but well, she goes to Indian Wells now, where she will be the main favorite to win anyway because of the court profile. And we'll see Kalinskaya Paulini tomorrow in the Dubai final. Anyway, yeah, do we have anything else, really? I guess not. There's probably going to be a watch along for Fonseca Navone later on as well, so make sure to tune into that. Keep subscribing if you haven't already, although most of, I know you guys have. You stick around 1 more hour? Probably not. Oh, was it Ghosty? Anyway, never mind. Thank you guys again for the chat, for the comments, and that was it. Anna Kalinskaya, semi-final. She gets into her first WTA Tour final. What a ball striker. What a player. And she deserves all the credit here, even if there's definitely going to be some talk about Swiatek looking, especially mentally, out of it very quickly after that first set breakdown. And I guess we can end it with that. I mean, I'm up for it, John, as long as it doesn't start, you know, incredibly late. If the earlier matches are fine, then yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Hi, Novak. I don't know if you saw what Vasek said last night about organising, and tennis could and should be even bigger than it already is. If only the people organising it were doing their job properly. He highlighted the balls, he highlighted playing late at night and then early in the morning and injuries. I just wondered whether you heard that, but also if you'd like to add something.
No, I haven't heard that. I actually saw Vasek just before I came here to see you guys, but I haven't seen his statement on that. But there's been a lot of discussions on the effect of the different balls and basically every week on the joints and the wrist and the shoulders and the elbows. And I think someone told me that in terms of injuries this year comparing to other years is drastically has gone up. So in terms of the balls, I absolutely agree. There should be some discussion on that. I actually spoke about that with Andrea Gaudenzi, the ATP president, and Massimo, who's the CEO, in Paris during the Paris-Bercy week. And I shared my opinion and my views, and then obviously they are thinking about various different options and ways of how to regulate that and how to make it better for the players and prevent injuries. In terms of the scheduling, I think there has been a lot of criticism and a lot of players complaining about it. So I think that should be addressed in a proper way. Obviously, Davis Cup and ITF is regulated differently from ATP Tour and from Grand Slams. You have different governing bodies, different schedules, different broadcasting demands. In the end of the day, we know that the TV is the one deciding, fortunately or unfortunately, but there has to be more, I guess, thorough discussions on that as well.
Yannick, thank you. Congratulations. This afternoon, did you play the match of your life? And what did it feel like playing that match?
Match of my life, I don't know, but it's for sure very, very important. You know, as I say, it helps a lot. The last competition, it is a team competition, and because you get a lot of energy from your teammates, from the whole team, and then the crowd is different. And I really enjoyed playing today. It was a great match. I started off really well, and obviously in the second set he raised his level, and the third set I just tried to hold my service games and waiting for a good opportunity, which arrived on 5-all, and I took it. And obviously it was a very crucial match for the whole team. And at the end of the match, I was really happy for the team to be at least able to play a deciding doubles. And you know, we played really good, and I think it was a really positive day today.
Yannick, I just wanted to ask you about the 3 match points that you saved at 4-5 in the third set in the singles. Can you just talk us through what was going through your head? How did you remain calm in those moments, and what were you trying to do in each of those points? I know that it was a really important, obviously, important game. We changed not for so long for new balls. So I knew if I'm gonna serve well that maybe I have some free points. But I had to stay in the present moment. It was love 40 and he missed a quite easy backhand, which gave me a little bit of confidence and belief. And then after I served twice really good. And nothing, you know, after this kind of games, your energy level and then mental level, it's raising, and I think this helped me today.
Yannick, over here. I'm not sure anyone else can maybe say they've beaten Novak Djokovic twice in one afternoon. What does that achievement mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, before the match, we were talking that it was a really important test today. You know, trying to understand what to expect before the match, and then I think we made a good tactical moment also before the match, and obviously playing it is a little bit different, but I think I have to be really proud about how I handled the situation. And as I said, I'm just very happy for all of us, for the team, and tomorrow we have a great opportunity. We know this, but in the other way we will try to stay as relaxed as possible, you know, keeping the smile in our head, which is important also, and then also to be happy to be here. No, it's not so many. For me, it's the first time that we can play a final in Davis Cup, which it means a lot for us.
One last question in English.
Yannick, just looking forward to the final, and to the other guys, please, as well, and the Australian team that you're facing in the final. You'll be playing De Minaur, presumably, in the second match, and you've got this extraordinary hold over him. I think he's only taken one set off you. How much of an advantage do you think that is for you, and what confidence does that give you?
Well, we don't know who is gonna play.
Se ti faccio giocare.
Yeah, we have to decide. We have to. You know, I have a lot of hours in my leg. This I know. If I play against him, it's gonna be different. You know, finals, as I said, it's always different. But let's see. It's his decision. He's the captain of the team, and so he can answer you that.
What do you say?
Thanks, Yannick. No, obviously it's our point of power. Yannick give us a lot of energy, give us a lot of confidence in ourselves. Obviously, he's a great player, but he's not only a great player. So he's a great person. That's what I like. So, yeah, he's probably in the first position to play tomorrow.
What do you think of the Australian team?
strong, different. Different from Serbians. Maybe more, maybe closer than Netherlands as singles and doubles. But still, we have to take care of us, thinking about tomorrow, enjoying today, but focus for tomorrow. So head to tomorrow.
We switch into Italian, per favore, domande in Italiano.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.